What's up, everybody? It's Stick Braxton, aka Clueless Vino, and I'm here with the first bit of extra content for you guys. And we're calling this Wine Would I Do? It's going to be a short video about a sequel idea I have for an old childhood show, or it could be anything, depending on what my mood is for that day. Hollywood, all they're doing is taking old properties and making remakes or reboots. So I'm like, why not do that but with a spin and try to make it a little bit more adult content or just like different than its previous iteration. And today we're going to start off with Doug. For those who don't know, Doug is the first Nicktoon ever on Nickelodeon. I can't remember the years, early 90s. It stars a boy named Doug who makes it to is he in middle school? No, he's in elementary school, which is weird because he seems old for an elementary school kid. Is he an elementary school kid? He might be a middle school kid. Whatever, he's in school. It's just about him, he moves from a different place, he's a new kid in school, and it's just about him traversing his life throughout his school years, at least the early school years. We never see him after a certain, I think he graduates and then maybe he gets to high school, and he then moves to Disney Doug, which is a little bit different, but same concept. I've always had ideas about Doug, and this is it. So enjoy the first episode, or first whatever you want to call this, of Why Would You Do? So in my sequel, the show is called Dear Doug. As many who have watched the show knows, Doug, oh, by the way, I have my thing of one. So as many as you know, Doug used to write in his journal, and that's how most of the episodes started, with Doug writing in his journal about whatever happened during that day or during that time period. As you also know, Doug had a very vivid imagination, and I want to play on that because in my mind, Doug from Nickelodeon, or from his first run as a cartoon, Doug was insane, because Doug would have these very vivid daydreams and very vivid dreams about him being a action star, or him being a superhero, or a fake Indiana Jones. He would have dreams about his crush, basically having a bunch of dudes on her, but really it was nothing like that. Off of something totally just off topic, and his mind just races. So I want to play on that part of his personality. So in Dear Doug, Doug is now an adult. We'll say he's like 24, 25, just to give it a little bit of a younger flair. And he's one of the best-selling comic artists in the world for his Quailmail comics. Who knew that a dude with underwear over his shorts and a belt on his head could make so much money? But Doug, he has all this success, but his wife Patty, they do get together in my show. She's just worried about him because he's always stressing, and he's had these couple run-ins with maybe the law, they drinking too much, or he gets caught on. Actually, what happens is his sister Judy, Judy was very out there, very hippie-ish, had a little incense running. I don't think it was incense, but he gets drugs from his sister, and he's on that. So he has like a little, not maybe a dependency, but he uses it when he gets stressed. So he gets caught with it a couple of times, kind of messes him up in the media. So he's trying to rebrand himself. So Patty suggests that he goes to a therapist. And so in every episode, Doug goes to a therapist, and he sits down, and they talk about it. The whole episode revolves around him talking about the events of his week. So each episode could be like a week in the life of Doug, and it's gonna revolve around so many different things, like him trying to meet a deadline for a comic. In one episode, he meets up with Skeeter, who is now one of the best shoe designers in the world, similar to it's big like Nike in my show. Also, just to clarify, yes, they are still in Bluffington, which is based in Richmond, where I'm from, Richmond, Virginia. show, like, yeah, he can meet up with Skeeter, and they want to do a Quail Man like collab, but like Doug is tripping again, so he something weird happens with the shoe design, and then he's trying to change it, or it gets switched over. One of my favorite episodes that I think I would love is Roger and BB end up getting married, and they had they had 2 kids, and one day Roger asked Doug to babysit for him. Patty's out of town doing something, so it's just Doug and 2 kids. Doug and Patty don't have kids, so it's a risky move. Does Doug use the drugs? Can Doug handle having these kids? A lot of hijinks ensue. There'll be a few like sappy episodes, sad episodes. Doug's dad passing away. There could be an episode where we talk about how Pork Chop passed away, like a flashback. That's one episode, and his inability to ever get another dog due to that. And maybe Pork Chop ended up having puppies, and that's just his new pet or whatever. But the main thing about Dear Doug is we want to highlight how Doug views his life, even through a successful lens, because he has all these things. He has the girl that he wanted. He has the notoriety from his comics, the daydreams that he used to have as Quail Man, and being this big star. He achieved it, but he can't find the happiness that he thought he would have back in middle school. And the therapist is working through it throughout the episode, do little cutbacks to the actual therapist room and the flashbacks from the week. And his therapist is trying to explain to him, hey, you're focusing on the wrong things, and maybe you're having these issues because of this, that, and the third. And you might get some callbacks from old Nickelodeon episodes. His relationship with Mr. Dink. I think if we really wanted to get crazy, we can talk about how Mr. Dink might have been, a lot of theories have said that Mr. Dink was kind of a predator. There's that episode where Mr. Dink takes him to Boy Scouts. He takes him to Boy Scouts, and they find him naked in a tree, and that's weird. We know what happens in the show, but people, they try to connect dots. So maybe that could be an episode. And that that harkens back to, or harkens forward to, what is his issues. But you get plenty of episodes like that. So I'm thinking like a 52 episode run. I don't want a long series, because the longer these series go, typically that's when you get the jump the shark moment. And if you don't know, that's for a Happy Days reference. Oh God, I'm old. A Happy Days reference, in which Fonzie literally jumps over a shark, and that's part of a plot, and it made no sense in regards to the world and the universe they had built on the show. So I don't want to be on TV long enough for that type of thing to happen. So I'm thinking 52 episodes, one for each week. That gives us at least one Thanksgiving episode, one Christmas episode, even an Easter episode. You get a birthday episode. You hit all the major milestones that you have for typical TV shows, right? So 52 weeks, episode 50, 50, let's say 51, 52, might be a 2-parter. The conclusion of the show basically comes to the point where Doug goes to one of his, therapy sessions, and he goes in, and she's like, so what's wrong this week? And he just says nothing. I had a great week. And you get this great section where you find out that he finally has his first child with Patty, and things, his comic books gets renewed, and he found out that it's gonna be made into a movie. He's been waiting for this. That's one of his biggest goals that he was hoping for, is to finally get this Quail Man movie off the ground. Because I think one of the issues that in the show will be that everyone's afraid to touch the property because of the person. But as the therapy sessions go on, he's getting better, and he's getting more confident, being able to go into meetings control and know when to say yes and when to say no. So yeah, I think, you know, in that final episode or two, he's just really happy. He's good, and he has his first child, and they, you know, they name him something weird, like his little sister. What was her name? Motorbike or something? I can't remember what it is. In the comments, tell me what maybe it was Dirt Bike. In the comments, remind me what it is. But like all these good things are happening. He's reconnected with Skeeter, like they're really close again. He's able to get his first dog since, or, you know, he's since got a new dog, and he's been able to make this connection like he did with Porkchop. And in the final episode, you find out that it was all a dream, and you zoom out, and Doug is in a psych ward. He's in a psych ward because the first session that he has, you flash back all the way to episode 1, the first session that he has a breakdown. And as he's leaving, he loses it. He just back on the psychedelics, and he just leads the cops on like this really crazy chase, and he's bugging. He dons the Quail Man outfit for once. So the shorts with the underwear over the top, the belt over the top of his head, and he's just running around going nuts. And you find out that none of the events from the entire show happened, which is dangerous because a few shows have done that, and it's kind of misleading to the viewer. But I think with that, you get this, because my goal is from the beginning, you're like, this dude is nuts. Over the middle, you're like, we're really rooting for this guy, and then you're going on this comfortable down slope, thinking that everything's going great, he's doing better, just to hit you in the gut with, dang, my God, he didn't make it. But, you know, in the end, he does. At the end, Patty goes and in his stay, for now, goes to a book signing, and it's a memoir, and the title of the memoir is Dear Doug. Crazy. Tell me what you guys think, man. Do you think that's good? Do you think that's something that, I don't know about Nickelodeon per se, because they can't put that on there at all. Scratch that. Nickelodeon definitely can't put that on TV. But I'm thinking like a Hulu, or whoever has like a connection with Nickelodeon. I think if they really took this idea and this property, it's copyrighted by the way, took this idea and property and really wanted to like flesh out this character, because there's so much you can do with that, with an adult character of Doug, man. Like there's this untapped potential. I don't like when you just do the same thing over and over. You're taking the same story but just giving it a shiny look. That's not what we want. We want to take this character, grow him up, and then expound on his personalities and the people around him. And I just think that's it's a great idea, man. But what would you say? What would you do differently? Would you have Doug not go to therapy? Would you have Doug not be married to Patty? I mean, I could see him marry someone else. Connie was a good choice. You know, I feel like Connie would have like married Chalky. I just feel like that would be a thing. But yeah, let me know what you think, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what shows you think I can do a sequel to. I'll look it up. I'll try to research it and find out, different ideas of what I can do. And yeah, definitely reach out to like Hulu or one of these streaming services and share it with them. Tell them I got an idea for them, and we can talk. I would love to like collab like amazing writers, and let's get this off the ground. Yeah, because Doug's crazy, man, but he still got a heart of gold. Like I said, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Really trying to grow this brand, and this is gonna be some content I'm gonna give you guys every now and again. I'm trying to figure out a schedule. Don't know what I'm gonna do because I still got the episodes of Clueless Vino. Be sure to listen to that on all your favorite streaming platforms. The videos comes out on YouTube on this channel. Really working on doing a couple cool different things, man. So yeah, just bear with me, man, and don't forget, drink up.